I'd like to show you how you can increase your stained glass sales by creating your own patterns. You can take any picture or painting and create a stained glass pattern from it. You can do this manually with a piece of paper and some pencils and felt tip markers with a fine point, or you can import an image into Photoshop, for example, any paint program that has layers, and then you just create a layer over top of your image and trace over it. One thing you're going to want to take into consideration is the shapes. You'll notice I have a digital image of a peony, and this is what we're going to work with. You'll notice that the inside stamen area, there are a lot of really fine, small stamen. We want to reduce the number of stamen and make larger shapes. With stained glass, it's important to take into consideration that if you work with an hourglass shape or a sharp V shape, while you can cut it with a bandsaw, there's a high chance of it breaking when you're putting the piece together, or cracking, chipping while you're trying to cut the piece. Another thing you also want to take into consideration is when you're putting your lines out, you don't want to have a lot of lines intersecting in the same place. A 120-degree angle is really the best angle to do it. If you have too many lines meeting in the same place, you're going to wind up with a big lump of solder when you put the piece together. Now, I took the image and created a layer and traced over it, and you'll see that I left some of the detail out in the leaf area, and I also made larger sections in the stamen area, so it's a little, it'll get a little bit better when you put it together. You won't have a lot of lumps right here in the center of it. T-shapes are good to join pieces together, and you can also use a plus shape, or you can stagger the lines. You'll notice that on the leaf areas, you'll see that I kind of staggered the lines, so when I join it together I won't have a lot of lumps. I didn't have time to actually create the stained glass image, but in Photoshop I took and kind of painted it to give you an idea of what it will look like, the finished piece. You'll notice that all the lines are joining together really good. That's one thing you have to do when you do your own pattern, is you want to reduce the number of lines. You can't get as detailed as you would with like an actual drawing or an actual painting. I hope you've learned a little bit about how you can increase your sales on your stained glass by creating your own patterns. I think you'll really enjoy it, and I think you'll really enjoy putting your piece together when you've done your own pattern.